Hello, how are we all today? Thank you so much for coming to the channel and thank you for checking this video out. So this video is going to be part 1 of me creating a Luke Skywalker lightsaber. Now I do have the Empire Strikes Back Luke Skywalker lightsaber. This is not going to be that model, this is going to be the other one with the green blade. Now I did think about different design originally, but to be honest, this is the one I really want to make. It's one that I have wanted to make for years, and it has stumped me for absolutely ages on how I could actually make this particular lightsaber. I get asked about it an awful lot of time, and it suddenly came to me and I was able to source the parts that I needed, and it just all kind of worked out really well. So what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be going over all the parts that I need to create this lightsaber, and I'm going to take you on the journey of exploration on how this is done and how my crazy mind works to work out how these things go together. None of this has been pre-planned or set up. Literally I have got the tubes that I need. They have just been delivered, which is great. I have now got this wonderful camcorder, which I placed the order on eBay for this guy, and it literally turned up the next day. So that is now allowing me to do these really good videos. The audio on this camera is fantastic, and I'll be honest, the picture is really good. It might not be 4K quality. I am sorry, I don't have the budget for 4K at the moment. I don't make a huge amount of money on the lightsabers, and we don't make huge amounts of profit. We make very little profit doing what I do, because the vast majority of the lightsabers I sell as low as I possibly can, because everyone should be able to enjoy a lightsaber. It shouldn't be just for those who are super rich or have just a huge amount of expendable wealth. If you are one of those people, you know, I'm very happy for you, that's great. But I have never been one of those in that particular category, and I've never been able to afford amazing lightsabers. When I started doing lightsabers, the only options available were in America, and I just couldn't push myself to spend as much money as it was needed at that time, 7 to 10 years ago, to buy one of these lightsabers. If something ever went wrong with them, you know, it would be an absolute nightmare to try and get it sorted. Whereas, you know, I decided to start creating them myself. So anyway, now that little bit of a bump is out of the way, I will be going to the next part of this video, where I'm going to be showing you the parts that I have to put everything together, and you might be able to get to figure out straight away. We'll see. Just so you are aware, before I get to that, when I am doing things that are very loud, so when I'm doing the meter saw, I will automatically adjust the volume on the recording so it's a lot quieter, because it is so loud. It's deafeningly loud, and I know you don't want that coming through there. Also, if there's anything else that's going to be really loud on video, then I will reduce the volume on that as well. So let's go and see what parts I have. Hello there, and here we have all the parts that we're going to need to make this new lightsaber. So this is going to be the main body of the core. All the detailed parts and all the sections are going to go over this. So this is going to be one of the more important parts. This is what's going to go over this part here. So this is going to go inside here, or this is going to go over that. And what will happen is I'm going to cut this into sections. Each section will be for the really big main body of the hilt. So one will be about that bit, and that'll be having the lines going across it like this. That'll be for the switch section. That'll be for the bit below the switch section, and that'll be for the pommel. So we'll be using about this much of the material. This is actually very expensive because it's a 3.6mm wall. It's a lot more money than just a normal tube. So these two are the main body of the hilt. Now the tricky thing is, I want to make the Luke Skywalker lightsaber with the green blade, and it has a very thin neck, and here's a problem. for a very, very long time, I've known that it's very, very hard to be able to get something that has a thin neck like this piece here to be really, really secure and to fit really snugly. So there's no wobble, there's no movement or anything like that. That is really, really hard. So what I've done is I've bought this tube, which will then go inside this one here, and this one will then go inside this tube here. And I know that sounds a bit crazy, you know, a bit all, oh god, well that's a lot of messing around. But each one of these tubes here, each one of these are slightly out of sync with the other one. So this one is slightly larger than the hole for this one here. I'll put it in order, sorry. So this one is slightly, the outer diameter is slightly larger than the inner diameter of this tube. And the same between these two. So the outer diameter is slightly too big for the inner diameter of this one. Because of that, that means I'm going to have to just ever slow by fractions, just manage these down to the point where not only do they fit in, but it's a case that I have to, for lack of a better word, get a hammer and whack them into place. But by doing that, by having such a tight fit, it gives me two things. One, it means I won't need to have rivets in these sections. And two, the fit will be so strong, I won't ever worry about it coming undone. I will, however, put 4 rivets in through these just to make sure it never falls apart. I don't want to use glue because glue, over time, it can fail. It will weaken over time, even 2-part epoxies. So that is the plan. So I think the very first thing we need to do is I need to work out the actual sizes of what's going to be cut. So I have my pen here. Now I know that the switch section is going to be 50mm. That's a standard switch section size, something I use all the time. So I'm going to get my calipers. Where did I put the calipers? Sorry about that, found the calipers. So I've got my calipers. I'm going to get this to 50mm, which is here. Get my pen and we're going to mark out 50mm on here now. So that's 50mm. And I know there's about a 2mm cut. So when this goes on the meter saw, the meter saw blade is 2mm, so every cut you lose 2mm for every cut out of the material. We then have a section which is going to be the pommel, which I want the pommel to be 30mm, so 30mm. Oops. So there's 30mm. And that's going to be one cut. So I'm going to cut these two pieces together. So I'll cut it once and then I can put this on the metal lathe and actually bore out the internal diameter so that it fits over this. I'll put that there for you now. And then there's another section which is going to be the emitter housing, and I think I want that to be 70mm. So I'll put 70mm here. Okay, so switch section, pommel, thingy thing, the thing that has lots of lines going across it. And then the only other part I need is, I'd say 40mm for this. And 40mm for that section. Now, so that is the main body of the handle. And that entire length is sorry, I should have brought a ruler. So this whole length is 90.5cm or just under 8 inches. Now typically I like to go to about 11 inches on a lightsaber. That's going to be near pixel and have all the bells and whistles. So How much further can we go? So it gives me a good 3 inches. Okay, right. So I'm going to put that to the side for now. Now I want this to fit inside each other enough that it's going to be really, really secure. And vice versa, each one into that. So, if I did 10mm, or 10 centimetre, 10mm or 1 centimetre, that's going to be far too thin. I think we need to do at least 20. So, we need to do 20mm. There, there, and there. And at the other end we'll also have another 20mm. Now, how long do I want this to be? We've got about 3 inches. I'd say, let's see, is 2.5 too much, or? So there's going to be a section in the middle as well. Actually, we'll standardise it. So we'll have 1 inch where we'll put the middle of it, because the middle thing is going to be 1 centimetre. So there we are. So if I just mark that area there, I know that is going to be the thing. And how far have we got from one to the other? Okay. So I think what we have to do is we'll mark 1 inch here, like so, and we'll go for 1 centimetre from there onwards. Yep, I like that. And then we'll go back to 1 inch from here, which is there. Yeah, that looks good. It looks good. And then we cut here. Okay, so we're going to have this section here. This section here is going to be in the next piece of metal, and this section here is going to be in the next piece of metal at the top. Here we're going to have the bit that goes round the centre, which will look really cool. So that's that done. So we've got 20mm to cut out here, and there's a 2mm cut, and then we want to go another 20mm, and another 20mm here. Okay, perfect. So we now know what we want to cut. I'm going to put all this together. So if we put this here, and we're just going to say that's the whole length. This will be inside that, so that'll be there. And what's this complete length altogether? That's 11. So it's going to be just over, it's going to be maybe 12.5, 13 inches long in total. I know that's quite big, but I think it'll work. As we go along, we can adjust and change things as we need and see fit. But for now, I think that's going to be okay. So I'm going to go to the next part of the video now, which is me cutting all these parts out. I will reduce the volume on this so that you can't get, so you won't deafen you. So I'll see you there in a moment. And now we have the small emitter ready. Right, so I've got earplugs in now. These are actually noise cancelling. They're very, very good for doing work with the meter saw and that sort of thing. So we have now got the main body cut, and over this we'll have this section, which is going to have all the ribs in it. That might be too long, I don't know. Anyway, we then have this part, which is for the switch and a little bit below the switch, which is fine. And then we have the pommel as well, which will go at the base here. So that all lines up nice and neatly, so that's great. Inside of this, we will have this section. So that goes inside here, this goes inside there, and it's all sorted. So that's really, really good. Oops. Did I cut that other part needed? Yeah, I did. Right. Losing my marbles, moving my marbles. So, we have all these pieces cut. That's going to be the end of part 1. So, I'm going to upload, most probably in a few days' time, part 2. And then, if you want to tune in part 2, we are going to be prepping all these parts, sanding them all down. We're going to be using the metal lathe to actually adjust the inner diameter so that these will fit over this, and vice versa for the other parts. So I will see you in part 2.